Okay, so this is going to be an interesting attempt. After I picked a whole bunch of blueberries yesterday, I thought I would make a blueberry crumble with them. It's probably going to be the only time you see me because, yeah, it's mostly about the crumble. So, wish me luck. The first thing that you want to do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and of course my oven's being stupid, and yeah, just get that preheating while you get everything else ready. So the next thing that you need to do is melt this butter. That's actually the reason I like this recipe the best, because I hate trying to work with cold butter, so if I can find a recipe that calls for melted butter, I am totally into it. So I'm going to stick this in the microwave and nuke it for like 15 seconds to get it nice and melty. Well, the butter melts. We take the berries that I picked yesterday, and this recipe calls for 24 ounces of blueberries. And we are going to dump them in this dish. I love crumbles because they're easy. And easy is always the best thing to get. So you get 24-ish ounces of blueberries, and then we'll do the next steps. Okay, so the next step is 2 to 4 tablespoons of sugar. It kind of just depends on how sweet you like it. I usually go with like 2.5 tablespoons. I do have to do the little admission that I actually never eat this, so I'm hoping that everybody doesn't lie to me and tell me that it tastes good when it tastes terrible, because I'm not big on cooked fruit. So that is 2, and then about a half. We'll mix that in and just kind of, again, just kind of mix it. This is just to sweeten. Most of the juice in this is going to come as the berries cook, but we are going to use like about a tablespoon of water. You can also do lemon juice. And the other thing we need is 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, which will thicken this, which is always a good thing to do, because you don't want it to just be really runny. Okay, and we're just going to stir that up. And as you can see, it definitely needs a little bit of water because this is not really juicy. That's okay. Like I said, the flour is mostly in as a thickening agent, and one of the blueberries just escaped, which is never fun. I will get that here in a minute. Alright. You also can't forget you just need a pinch of salt, and that should do it. Salt is nice because it actually emphasizes the sweet if you don't overdo it. And that's why a lot of recipes just call for a pinch of salt. And then we're just going to put a little bit of water. It calls for about a tablespoon of water, which it also says that you can use lemon juice if you have some, which I don't. So I won't be using lemon juice. So you just give it a little stir and kind of leave it to almost marinate. And then we're going to work on the crumble topping. For the crumble topping, we are going to start with 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of oats, and you want to use the old-fashioned oats, not the quick oats. Another pinch of salt, which my pinch and your pinch might be totally different pinches, but that is fine. And then this is dark brown sugar on the top and regular sugar on the bottom. So it's 1/4 of a cup of dark brown sugar and 1/4 of a cup of white sugar. And you just want to mix that all up. This is so much harder to do one-handed. But you just kind of want to get it all nice and mixed. The nice thing about crumbles is you can literally use any fruit that you like. Like, I've done this with apple and blueberry. I've seen people do it with just mixed berries. You can use frozen berries. I decided to use the fresh blueberries that I picked yesterday because why not? Alright, now we're going to add the melted butter. And just kind of stir it till it's nice and moist. Like, it's not really supposed to be like a completely gloppy wet, although using the melted butter will make it a lot more wet than a normal crumble. But using the melted butter also lets everything get coated with the buttery goodness. And yeah, I realize that this does not look like enough to actually be a topping for our pan of crumble, but it will work, because always has before. Alright, the last thing you want to do is just kind of spread your crumble topping. If you want a little bit more texture to it, just sprinkle a little bit of raw oats onto the top. Just a little bit. It'll give it a little bit more texture. And then you are going to put it into your preheated oven of 375 degrees for 25 to 35 minutes. So we will get this in the oven. And get the timer set. And we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so we are at the 25-minute mark, and we are going to check on the crumble. What you're looking for is to see if the juice has thickened and if the top is kind of a golden brown color. Ooh, and that steamed up everything. But yeah, I think it looks done. So let me get it out of there. Okay, so there it is. The neat thing about this is you want to let it cool and then store it in the refrigerator, and it almost becomes like almost like a chewy bar with a little bit of a crunch on the top, and it works out really, really well. I've heard people say that they like it on just kind of like in a bowl with ice cream on top of it. So that's the thing you can try, or you could just have it for breakfast. I did also forget to say, if you are vegan, you can switch out the butter for coconut oil. And just use coconut oil instead of butter in the recipe, and then voila, you've got it vegan. And there's a squirrel out eating. Because you know me, I can't have a video without at least somebody being silly out there. But yeah, this was my very first attempt at a cooking video. I am sorry if it was terrible. I hope it was at least semi-okay, and let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later.